Hello, everyone. You're live with OK Student. We are an advisory service for students applying to British universities. And every Friday, we do a new live session where we answer your questions and talk about a new topic. My name's Nick.
And my name is Martin. One way to know it's Friday, seeing those two faces on your Facebook or YouTube feed again.
Absolutely, it's a regular thing. You can check out loads and loads of the previous recordings we've done, previous lives, loads of interesting topics. And if you are watching this live, you can message us and on the live comments, and we can pick up. We can pick up your questions now, or you can message us after this, and we can kind of get in touch with you directly to help you.
Definitely, as you said just in the beginning, we are really trying to help students with this Q&A, and I mean it's turned lately more to a talk show from us, but always all the comments are welcome. Even though today's topic is traveling when you're arriving to the UK, you can easily ask any other questions about the future or how's the university life gonna look like in September. We are trying always to give at least our opinion.
Always happy to help. So really, I love this time of year because the students are getting their results, and it means they can confirm their place with the university. And so then they start to think about actually traveling to the UK, booking flights or travel plans, when to arrive. So these questions start to come in now. So we thought this was quite topical, a good time to cover it.
They're getting finally to the exciting and interesting part of all the hustle with applying and getting your grades and studying hard is done. So now is the easier part, I would say.
Yeah, it's the easier, definitely the fun part.
The fun part, yeah.
When you put all these plans into motion, and it's the kind of the exciting adventure starts. And
I can tell from my own experience that the very first time you land to the UK, this kind of memory doesn't go away too easily.
Yeah, I love seeing this kind of people arrive because the excitement is there. Obviously, people have traveled for hours and hours, they're tired and things, but it's that kind of excitement of arriving in the UK, seeing a university, meeting new people, those kind of new friendships that you're making in the first few days. So yeah, it's an amazing time, and something that everybody should be excited about.
Definitely. So should we dive into the practical steps? Well, maybe not even steps, but the journey that generally I think students take when they land in the UK. So what are the different options? I mean, first of all, arriving to the UK, obviously flying is an option.
Well, yeah, it depends where you're coming from. Flying is the most common option, but obviously we are connected by Eurostar through Europe. So the tunnel system where you can take the train, or you can obviously come over on ferries as well. So bus transport or car transport if you are from mainland Europe. But most people fly, of course.
Yeah, I've tried. I think all of them. I've done the bus trip from, I think I was in Paris or somewhere, and then you have to go off on a ferry, which is like 20, 30, maybe a little bit more minutes. I've done a train to Europe, which is really, really smooth experience. And obviously flying when you're coming from further away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're really well kind of linked up for transport. And even once you arrive, if you arrive by flight, we can cover this, how you then get around the UK. So at the moment, most people, the first thing they ask is actually, when should I come? When should I travel to the UK? And we've talked about it in another session, but this idea of Welcome Week, which is usually the first week of term where everybody is arriving and settling in, getting to know each other. There's loads of social stuff going on. And really, you need to be there for that part, okay? So most people arrive the first weekend of Welcome Week. Everybody arrives together in that time frame, and maybe, within the next kind of 2-week period for people who are a little bit later. You don't need to come any earlier because the university won't be open, there won't be things happening. So you don't need to have that time settling in. It's better to arrive at the start of Welcome Week. That's when your accommodation contract will probably start. And that's when everything kicks off, all the fun, all the induction, everything.
Yeah, definitely. What I would say in here is pay attention to when is your university's Welcome Week, because as I think it's not one certain week, right? Like different universities have the Welcome Week starting in a different time.
You're absolutely right. So hundreds of thousands of students moving, British students moving away from home, international students coming in. And so this is a big kind of migration of students around the country. So they can't have all the Welcome Weeks on the same time. So they have to stagger them across different periods. So you're absolutely right. Check your university information and double check if you're going to a university city where there's multiple universities. Sometimes there's confusion. So the University of Nottingham Trent University, 2 different universities and different Welcome Weeks. So you just need to make sure you're getting that right information.
Yeah, I think mine started like literally end of September, like 26th or something when I went to my first year. But I know like one of my good friends, his one was, I think it can even be like first week of October easily, right?
Yeah, I would say really even the second week of September, then kind of every week there is different universities till the first week or second week of October. And this year is different, of course, because of the COVID situation. So some universities have moved back their start dates, their Welcome Weeks, to give as much chance for recovery from COVID and for people to prepare. So check your start dates because they could have moved back since the COVID situation. And also we're in this really nice, unique time where universities are being very flexible about start dates. So normally there wouldn't be flexibility, maybe 2 weeks at the most, but if you start missing lessons, you can't enroll. But this year is different because of COVID. You can take lessons online, so you can find the right time where you might be able to travel, where you might be able to get a visa to come when it's appropriate for you. So it's really, really important to remember this year, that it's going to be a kind of staggered start for international students. They're arriving when it's possible, and they can take their lessons online if they're unable to travel. So I think it's a really amazing time because I don't have to panic about, I'm going to miss that Welcome Week, or I'm going to miss the start of teaching. I can do it online and I can join a month later or 2 months later or even a term later.
Or a year later. Possibly not.
Most universities, they're just doing it a term at a time.
Yeah.
And the visa office is flexible as well. So they've said already this won't affect your rights. You can travel, you can get post-study work visa, everything, if you have to start online in your own country.
Yeah, definitely. So international students, I know many, a lot of people know UK mainly because of like London and the airports when traveling as well, because of the main airports like Heathrow and Gatwick are in London. Mm-hmm. Is there any other airports like around the UK, or like how accessible is it to get to like a little bit smaller cities via plane?
So the kind of long haul flights, so kind of outside of Europe, those airports are really Heathrow and Gatwick, Birmingham and Manchester. And obviously Birmingham is in the middle of the country, London is in the south, and Manchester is in the north. And then again in Scotland, you'd have Glasgow as well. And so these are the main airports that do long haul destinations all over the world, not just holiday destinations. But lots and lots of regional cities have their own airport, and these airports service usually Europe, so kind of city break destinations, European cities. And so if you're coming from Europe, there is probably a much closer airport than London, Birmingham, or Manchester, depending on where you're studying.
Yeah, basically. So, for example, me myself, I studied in Nottingham, and I'm initially from Estonia, Tallinn, meaning that I found a really nice route to literally next to Nottingham. There is an airport called East Midlands Airport, but there was no direct flight with Tallinn, which meant that I literally had to take the bus to our neighbor Latvia, to Riga, and then there was a direct flight from Riga to East Midlands.
And I bet that journey was probably cheaper traveling to Riga than London to Nottingham.
I was just about to say that the travel from Tallinn to Riga is pretty much the same as from London to Nottingham. However, the transport in Baltic countries are a little bit cheaper and more cost effective than in the UK, meaning that I saved quite a bit of money. And it's always way much nicer to arrive to the airport that's close to your home.
Yeah, definitely. It's when you arrive, it's hard then if you have a really kind of long follow-on.
Yeah. So what I want to say, I prefer myself to kind of travel the bus trip earlier on, not after landing.
Yeah, and this differs. So obviously, when people look at the UK on a map, it's a tiny island, and people think, oh, well, it's really not far between these destinations. And maybe in mileage, they're right, but because of the traffic and because of different ways of moving around, it can take longer at different times of day or different conditions. And that can be
especially
really
during now. And now as well, because I think that the bus and train connection isn't still at 100% what it was before. So there's less trains, a little bit less buses.
Yes, I think at the moment they're kind of building the transport network back up to full capacity. I'm fairly sure in the autumn it will be back to full capacity because they will have to cope with these things.
That's true.
So when you arrive, then let's say most people flying into London, or Birmingham. So how do you then get to your university city?
Well, it really depends, I think, where you land. So London-wise, I think there is 4 or 5 airports, but I'm guessing that for the international routes, there is 2 key and 2 bigger airports, which are Heathrow and Gatwick airports. I think Heathrow is a little bit to the west, and Gatwick is a little bit to the south. So Gatwick Airport is, I think it's 35, 40 minutes away. And what you can do is you can either, well, I wouldn't suggest taking a taxi because that could cost you a fair amount of money. But with Gatwick Airport, there's a really good linkage with something called Gatwick Express, which is, I think it's just a regular train, but it's just runs between Gatwick Airport and then the very central of London, which is called Victoria train station, and which is the perfect place to go to when you have to travel across the UK, because you can basically, I think, get anywhere from there. The trip is 30-40 minutes. I think last time I used it was between 12 to 15 pounds one way, which is pretty okay for the UK price range. And I think there is no other option. I think you can get by bus, but it's more hustle. And I would personally pick the Gatwick Express.
So you're saying from London airports you can get the express trains back into the centre of London to somewhere like Victoria train station or bus station or the other national rail stations. And then you can get a train back out or a bus, depending on where and your budget, to where you need to go. So yeah, really good advice. The thing you have to watch with that scenario is how much luggage you have. And because it's, you know, some of the train stations, there are a lot of stairs and things like that. So it's quite hard to maneuver a lot of luggage. So you said, yeah, there are airport pickups, there are taxi services. They will be expensive, but obviously if you have luggage, that could be a solution. But
yeah, I mean, airport pickup is something we actually haven't really discussed yet in detail.
Exactly right. I was just going to say, the big secret here, the kind of hack, is almost all universities run airport pickup services on the weekend that the university welcome week starts. So when the majority of people are flying in, they run free or minimal cost airport pickup services, where you can just basically gather together with other students from the same university, get on a bus and go straight to your campus and accommodation.
Which is one of the most convenient options there possibly ever will be, because literally university representatives are there within like bright hoodies, waiting you with massive signs, whichever city they are going to, and yeah, they pretty much take care of the whole journey. Yeah, they put you on the bus. I got when I used the service as well, or the kind of pickup option, and yeah, I do remember like they give you a nice goodie bag with like the first couple of items you do need in the UK. I told you before, I still do have the SIM card that I got from the goodie bag.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm using giffgaff, which is basically just the easiest top up SIM card. Yeah, what else? Yeah, you get like a nice booklet or whatever you call it, where you can see the whole program of the welcome. Definitely picked out a couple of things on the bus journey already then. What else? Oh yeah, and when you get to your city, at least in Nottingham, my university booked me a taxi.
You had the star treatment, VIP.
Total VIP service.
So it's a brilliant thing, and I would suggest all students look into this service. And usually you have to go through your university website, send them an email, say, is there a pickup service from this airport? And they will send you the details about how to book it. You do have to book it usually. You can't just turn up, because they have to order a number of coaches required.
And they need to know the time you're flying in as well, because there is like many different people arriving, and they can't just chaotically pick people from here and there. They need to know where you're landing, so they know which terminal, which gate, and so on to wait you at.
Yeah, and you know, big airport like Heathrow, many terminals. So you need the information about where they'll be waiting and how to get across the airport to meet them. But definitely the best service.
The best option.
You probably need to tell them quite how much luggage you need to bring as well, because lots of luggage can fill up a coach very quickly. And you need to at least be prepared to say, yeah, there might be quite a lot of waiting time, because you're waiting for other flights to arrive, other students. So it's the best option, but you do need to be patient. You know, it's a long kind of wait for the departure back to the university.
Yeah, and the booking wise, I'm assuming when you email your university, they will definitely let you know about that. But at least my university, they were really loud and clear about that service. So definitely just check your emails, and if there is such a service, I'm 90% sure that they have already emailed you, or they're going to in near future.
Absolutely, yeah. The kind of welcome induction information starts coming through. As soon as you confirm your place, you get your results, then it all starts coming through, and those details start joining up. So I think the thing we haven't really talked about, which I hate to talk about, but is kind of COVID thing, people being anxious about traveling. So, I mean, always check with your own government and the travel advice. The UK has something called FCO, which you can check, which is government guidelines on travel. At the moment, the UK has opened corridors to different countries around the world where no quarantine is required. And it's a growing list, all over the world. And so you can check that list and see if you're required to quarantine, etc. At the moment, there is a locator form. So when you travel to the UK, you just have to fill out details about where you'll be staying so that they can track and trace people. But the system is working really well. And I think more and more people are traveling and flying and feeling comfortable about it. I mean, you yourself have flown recently.
Yeah, yes, I did. I just flew back to Estonia for just a couple of weeks with family myself, and yeah, the travel was really smooth. I came from Nottingham, and then I went through London to Heathrow Airport. Yeah, I mean, train was pretty much fully empty. Of course, you have to wear all of the necessary face masks. Well, one of them. And what did I do? Yeah, I took the tube. I think it was Piccadilly line to the Heathrow Airport. This was a little bit busier, but still, though, people were really polite. Everyone had face masks on, keeping distance. I was fairly surprised how good of experience it was. The same in the airport. I thought it's going to be a lot busier. Actually, there weren't that many people nor flights, I guess. So yeah, I'm thinking that if you just take all of the safety measures and are safe and smart yourself, nothing really bad's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Just taking the right precautions, filling out the right paperwork, and just basically being open-minded about the situation. You don't have to travel. You can start online and come when it's appropriate for you.
Of course.
So communication is key here with your university to tell them your own situation and how it's developing. Many of the airlines as well will roll on your flights to a different time if you're unable to travel. So hopefully that's helpful and offers some reassurance. The universities here are fully preparing to open in the autumn and welcome students, and they're putting in every precaution for your safety and comfort and experience, really. So yeah, I hope people are feeling reassured about the choice and about the process of traveling to the UK. If people do have specific questions or are concerned about anything, please get in touch with us. Email is info@okstudent.co.uk. And we also have a web form. There you go on the website there, /form. And basically you can ask us anything and we can help. We are industry professionals, people who've worked in universities, and current students or graduates like Martin, who can give you great advice about what it's really like.
Yeah, 150%. Definitely follow our socials. I think you can, our Instagram over up here. We post daily on the latest updates on traveling or what's the new, I was about to say new normal, how it's going to look like in September. And yeah, just generally good and useful content. We have a longer form blog on Medium where we have many guest writers who are students themselves as well, sharing their personal stories and tips and tricks about studying in the UK and living in the UK. So yeah.
Absolutely. There is actually a great article at the moment about charter flights. Universities are chartering planes. So not an airport pickup service from the UK, but from your home country, particularly
from your home country.
Yeah, I think these countries like China and India, where there's many students for a certain university, so they're going to have their own charter flights flying out of there. So check out the article on the blog, and also basically get in touch with the university about booking your place on one of those specific, very special flights.
So maybe you can fly like Kardashians.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds quite fun, really. The university flight. I think
full of students as well.
All students, all the same university. Away you go.
Yeah, you can start making friends without even leaving the country yet.
This is the new normal, Martin. Maybe charter flights will continue on and be a normal thing now.
Oh, you never know. Awesome. I'm wishing to you, Nicholas, and everyone else a wonderful weekend, and enjoy the sun when and where there is. I don't think there's snow anywhere now. Maybe, probably there is. But yeah, good session today. I think plenty of useful advice. And yeah, I'm excited to see everyone soon in September in the UK. Yeah,
we look forward to welcoming you to the UK. Stay safe, and get in touch if you have any questions.
Wonderful. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.